in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming. Finding peace begins with simplicity, a quiet return to what truly matters. Buddhist wisdom offers timeless guidance on calming the restless mind, embracing mindfulness, and reconnecting with the beauty of natural living. In this episode, we'll explore how these ancient teachings can transform your life, helping you find clarity and contentment in even the busiest moments. Take a moment to share where you are in this journey. What's one thing you'd like to simplify today? Your reflections could inspire others on their path toward peace. As we delve deeper, let's uncover how the Four Noble Truths illuminate the essence of simplicity, guiding us toward a life of purpose and ease. As we embark on this journey into the heart of Buddhist wisdom, let us begin by exploring the Four Noble Truths, which serve as the foundation for understanding simplicity and its profound connection to peace. At their core, these truths guide us toward recognizing the nature of suffering and how to alleviate it, offering a pathway to live more intentionally and with less struggle. The first noble truth is that life is inherently marked by dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. This does not mean that life is meant to be miserable, but rather acknowledges the impermanent and ever-changing nature of existence. Dukkha arises from our attachment to what is fleeting, whether it's material possessions, social status, or even emotional states. When we cling to these impermanent things, we create unnecessary stress and disconnection from the present moment. In modern life, this truth becomes especially relevant as we navigate a world filled with distractions and overstimulation. The constant barrage of information, the pressure to achieve more, and the endless pursuit of more often leave us feeling fragmented and unfulfilled. Here is where simplicity comes into play. By embracing simplicity, we can reduce the noise that clouds our minds and return to what truly matters, connecting with the present moment and cultivating contentment in the here and now. Consider the story of a Zen monk who was given too many bowls for his modest needs. Each bowl represented a different aspect of life: a bowl for rice, one for soup, another for tea, and soon he found himself overwhelmed by their presence. He realized that simplicity meant choosing just one bowl, allowing him to focus on what truly nourished him. This story reminds us that stripping away unnecessary complexity allows us to see clearly and act with intention. Take a moment to reflect. Where in your life does complexity cause stress? Is it in your schedule, relationships, or perhaps even your thoughts? Identify one area where simplicity could bring greater ease and focus. By doing so, you begin to align yourself with the teachings of the First Noble Truth, acknowledging suffering as part of life while seeking ways to reduce its unnecessary burdens. As we move forward, remember that simplicity is not about deprivation, but about creating space for what truly nourishes your mind, body, and spirit. It's a practice that invites us to let go of what no longer serves us and embrace the beauty of the present moment. The Four Noble Truths guide us toward non-attachment, which we'll explore next, showing how letting go of clinging can lead to greater freedom and inner peace. In our journey towards simplicity, we've touched upon the Four Noble Truths and how they guide us to recognize suffering through attachment to impermanent things. Now, let's delve deeper into how non-attachment and minimalist living can serve as powerful tools for cultivating inner peace. Non-attachment, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, teaches us to release our clinging to material possessions, desires, and even ideas. It doesn't mean rejecting everything, but rather understanding that true freedom lies in not being enslaved by what we possess or desire. Imagine holding a cup of water. If you grip it too tightly, the water may spill. Similarly, when we cling to things, we risk losing balance and peace. Non-attachment invites us to hold life's treasures with an open hand, allowing them to flow naturally in and out of our lives without causing disturbance. A Zen master once told a story of a monk who sought enlightenment by meditating on a lotus flower. The monk admired the flower's beauty but became fixated on it, believing it held the key to his awakening. One day, the flower wilted, and the monk was overcome with grief. The master gently reminded him that while the flower's beauty was fleeting, the lesson of impermanence was eternal. This story illustrates how non-attachment allows us to appreciate life's beauties without being consumed by them. Reflecting on this, consider what objects or habits you hold onto that no longer serve your well-being. Perhaps it's an old garment you keep out of habit, a gadget that distracts you, or even a routine that drains your energy. These things may not inherently be bad, but if they no longer contribute to your growth or happiness, it might be time to let them go. As we embrace non-attachment, we begin to see how minimalism can lead us toward freedom from desire-driven suffering. By decluttering our lives of unnecessary burdens, we create space for mindfulness and presence. This practice not only simplifies our external world, but also quiets the restless mind, allowing us to experience life more fully. In embracing non-attachment and minimalist living, we lay the foundation for a balanced approach to simplicity, one that doesn't deny life's joys, but rather allows us to savor them without attachment. As we move forward, we'll explore how this balance is further refined through the middle way, which guides us toward a harmonious existence where simplicity coexists with fulfillment. For now, take a moment to consider, what items or habits do you hold on to that no longer serve you? Letting go may be the first step toward discovering the peace and freedom that come from living simply. In our modern world, where extremes often define our choices, whether we indulge in endless distractions or retreat into self-deprivation, it's easy to lose sight of what truly nourishes us. The Buddha's teachings remind us that the path to inner peace lies not at either end of these extremes, but somewhere in between. This is the essence of the middle way, a profound wisdom that invites us to find balance in all aspects of life. The Buddha himself rejected both extreme asceticism and indulgence, recognizing that neither path leads to true fulfillment. After years of severe austerity, he realized that denying our basic needs only creates suffering. Similarly, allowing ourselves to be consumed by material comforts or sensory pleasures keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. The middle way is about finding the harmony between these two extremes, acknowledging our needs without letting them control us, embracing simplicity while nurturing self-care. Consider the story of a monk who lived in a simple hut near a bustling marketplace. One day, a traveler asked him, "How do you maintain peace when the world outside is so chaotic?" The monk replied, "I tend to my garden each morning and evening. I eat what I grow, and I share it with those in need. In this way, I honor both the earth and myself." This simple act of tending to his needs while connecting with others exemplifies the middle way, a life lived with intention, without excess or neglect. Finding balance is not about perfection, but about awareness. It's about noticing when we're overworking ourselves or when we're avoiding responsibility. It's about recognizing that true well-being comes from honoring both our inner and outer worlds. For example, if you find yourself constantly chasing busyness, perhaps it's time to slow down and reflect. If you often neglect your basic needs, maybe it's time to reintroduce self-care into your routine. Take a moment to reflect. Where do you see imbalance in your life? Is there an area where you're overindulging or undernourishing yourself? Remember, the middle way is not about rigid rules, but about gentle adjustments. Start with small steps, perhaps setting aside time each day for both productivity and rest, or finding ways to simplify your surroundings while still allowing yourself moments of joy. As we navigate this path, it's important to approach imbalance with compassion rather than judgment. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every step toward balance is a step toward greater peace. By embracing the middle way, we create space for both stillness and movement, simplicity and care, ultimately finding harmony in the dance of life. The next chapter will explore how mindfulness plays a vital role in walking this path. In our fast-paced modern world, where distractions constantly pull us in every direction, finding calm amidst the chaos can feel like an impossible task. Yet, within the ancient wisdom of Buddhism lies a timeless practice that offers clarity, peace, and balance: meditation. Meditation is not about escaping reality, but rather embracing it with greater awareness and equanimity. It cultivates mindfulness, allowing us to observe our thoughts and sensations without judgment. By anchoring ourselves in the present moment, we begin to untangle ourselves from the restless chatter of the mind. This practice helps us see clearly, letting go of what no longer serves us and embracing what truly matters. The Zen tradition often speaks of the lotus flower, which grows beautifully despite being rooted in muddy water. Like the lotus, Meditation teaches us to find peace and clarity even amidst life's challenges. By sitting quietly and focusing on our breath or a simple mantra, we learn to observe distractions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to stay grounded, no matter how turbulent life may seem. To begin, try these simple techniques. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the rise and fall of your breath. When your mind wanders, a thought about work, a worry about tomorrow, gently guide your focus back to your breathing. Alternatively, pay attention to the sensations in your body, noticing any areas of tension or relaxation. These practices help you reconnect with the present moment, creating a sense of stability and calm. Take a moment to reflect. What distracts you most in daily life? Is it notifications on your phone, deadlines at work, or worries about the future? How might meditation help you create space between these distractions and your response to them? By identifying what pulls you away from the present, you can begin to address those challenges with greater awareness and intention. As we've seen, meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating mindfulness and reducing restlessness. It teaches us to embrace life's impermanence while finding balance in every moment. In the next segment, we'll explore how this practice of letting go can deepen our connection to the present and bring us closer to inner peace. In our journey toward inner peace, we've explored the middle way and the power of meditation. Now, let's delve deeper into letting go, a gentle yet profound practice that leads us to embrace simplicity. Letting go is not about harsh deprivation, but a mindful release of what no longer serves us. Buddhist minimalism teaches us to focus on essentials, both in our surroundings and within our minds. It invites us to question what truly matters, guiding us toward a life uncluttered by unnecessary distractions. Consider the parable of two monks traveling through a forest. One monk carried many belongings, often distracted by their weight and the effort needed to maintain them. The other monk traveled lightly, noticing the beauty around him, the rustling leaves, the songs of birds, and the simplicity of each moment. This story illustrates how minimalism frees us to connect deeply with our surroundings and ourselves. Practical steps toward this simplicity begin with decluttering. Start by examining your space. What items hold true value? Let go of those that no longer serve a purpose. Extend this practice inward. Release mental clutter by focusing on thoughts that foster peace and clarity. Reflect on what enough means to you. It varies for each person, but it often involves finding contentment in the present moment. As we embrace this reflection, we lay the groundwork for deeper mindfulness and connection with our true selves. In the next segment, we'll explore how letting go of material desires further enriches our journey towards simplicity and inner peace. In a world where material desires often feel like an endless river pulling us forward, it's easy to lose sight of what truly nourishes our hearts and minds. Yet, within this torrent of wants and needs lies a profound truth. The more we cling to possessions, the more our minds become cluttered with restless thoughts. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that desire, while natural, can become a heavy burden when it overshadows our ability to appreciate what is already present in our lives. The teachings speak of how clinging to material objects creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. We chase after one thing, only to find ourselves wanting the next, and so on. This endless pursuit leaves little room for contentment or peace. But what if we could pause, even for a moment, and ask ourselves, what do I truly need? What brings me lasting joy? A Zen story illustrates this beautifully. There was once a monk who lived in a modest hut atop a mountain. One day, a wealthy merchant visited him and offered to build a grander home. The monk smiled and said, "What you offer is generous, but my hut is already perfect. It shelters me from the rain, keeps me warm, and allows me to focus on what truly matters." The merchant was struck by his simplicity and realized that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in the heart's ability to find contentment. To cultivate this kind of clarity, begin by examining your relationship with material objects. Notice how certain items bring you joy or fulfillment, and equally important, observe when they become distractions or sources of stress. Practice pausing before acquiring something new and ask yourself, is this truly necessary? How will it serve me? Over time, this mindful approach helps us let go of what no longer serves us, creating space for a simpler, more intentional way of living. Consider the following reflection. What one material possession could you live without? Take a moment to visualize life without it. Does its absence bring discomfort? Or does it reveal a freedom you hadn't noticed before? This exercise is not about deprivation, but about uncovering what truly enriches your life. As we let go of unnecessary attachments, we create room for mindfulness and inner peace. In the next segment, we'll explore how embracing simplicity can deepen our connection to the present moment and help us find harmony within. In a world that often feels overwhelming, mindfulness offers a gentle anchor, a way to ground ourselves in the present moment and find peace amidst the chaos. At its core, mindfulness is not about escaping life, but embracing it with clarity and intention. It teaches us to see simplicity in complexity and stillness in motion. By cultivating awareness of our thoughts, actions, and surroundings, we begin to unravel the layers of distraction that cloud our minds and prevent inner calm. The practice of mindfulness invites us to slow down and engage fully with each task, whether it's preparing a meal, walking through a park, or even folding laundry. When we approach these everyday activities with deliberate attention, they become opportunities for connection and reflection rather than mere chores. For instance, consider the act of drinking tea instead of rushing through it. Mindfulness encourages us to savor each sip, noticing the warmth, the flavor, and the way it nourishes our body and mind. In this simple moment, we find a microcosm of peace. A Zen master once said, "Chop wood, carry water." This teaching reminds us that true wisdom lies not in grand gestures, but in fully attending to the tasks at hand. When we bring mindfulness to even the most mundane activities, they transform into acts of meditation and self-discovery. By doing so, we learn to let go of preoccupation with the past or anxiety about the future, finding instead a sense of ease and balance. Now, take a moment to reflect. Where do you lose focus in daily life? Perhaps it's when you're multitasking, scrolling through social media, or caught up in worrying thoughts. How might mindfulness help you reclaim that lost attention? By pausing and reconnecting with the present moment, even for a few breaths, you can create a space of clarity and calm amidst the busyness. As we continue this journey, remember that mindfulness is not just a practice, it's a way of life. It invites us to see the beauty in simplicity and find peace in the natural flow of existence. And as we embrace this mindset, we begin to realize that inner peace is not something we achieve, but something we nurture through awareness and kindness. Through mindfulness, we learn to live more fully and authentically, finding harmony between our inner world and the world around us. In the quiet embrace of nature, we find a sanctuary where the restless mind can pause, breathe, and recalibrate. Buddhist teachings often remind us that the natural world is not just an environment to be observed, but a living teacher, offering lessons in simplicity, impermanence, and interconnectedness. The mountains stand tall yet humble. The rivers flow with patience, and the trees grow strong by rooting deeply into the earth. Each element of nature mirrors the potential for inner peace that lies within us. To bring mindfulness into our relationship with the natural world is to cultivate a sacred connection. It begins with slowing down, noticing the subtle beauty in the rise and fall of waves or the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. When we walk through a forest, we can feel the earth beneath our feet, sense the fresh air filling our lungs, and observe the intricate dance of light filtering through the trees. These moments of presence allow us to step away from the noise of daily life and reconnect with the essence of being. A Zen master once shared a story about a monk who sought enlightenment by meditating under a tree for years. When asked why he chose that particular spot, the monk replied, "I wanted to learn from the tree." The tree taught him resilience, patience, and the wisdom of surrendering to the flow of life. It showed him how to stand tall in the face of storms while remaining grounded in the soil of stillness. This is the kind of mindfulness that nature invites us to embody, to live fully in each moment, open to the beauty and the challenges it brings. Take a moment now to reflect what natural space brings you peace. Is it the soft glow of dawn over a lake, the quiet strength of an ancient tree, or the endless expanse of the sky? How often do you visit this place, or allow yourself to feel its presence in your heart even when you are far away? The more we connect with nature, the more we realize that inner peace is not something we achieve, but something we remember by aligning ourselves with the rhythms of the earth and the stillness within. As we move forward, let us carry this mindful connection into every aspect of our lives. Nature teaches us about balance, which is the key to harmonizing our inner world with the outer world. By embracing simplicity and letting go of unnecessary distractions, we can create a space where mindfulness naturally flourishes. In this way, we become like the trees rooted in stillness, yet open to the ever-changing dance of life. In our journey through Buddhist wisdom, we've explored mindfulness as a way of life and how inner peace arises when we align with nature's rhythms. Today, we delve deeper into the concept of sufficiency and how simplicity can lead to lasting contentment. The essence of just enough lies in finding balance, not too little, not too much. It's about meeting our needs without overindulgence. This principle is akin to the Zen art of tea preparation, where each step is deliberate yet simple, creating a moment of profound connection and peace. The tea master doesn't seek to impress with elaborate displays, but rather offers a humble gesture that speaks volumes. Consider how simplicity transforms moments: a walk in nature without distractions, a meal enjoyed with gratitude, or a quiet evening reading. These moments are not just breaks from busyness, they're opportunities for true contentment. They remind us that lasting happiness isn't found in accumulation, but in appreciating what we have. What small act of simplicity brings you joy? Reflect on moments when simplicity felt most fulfilling: a walk in the park, a conversation without screens, or a meal prepared with care. These acts ground us, showing that true satisfaction comes from within. As we move forward, let's carry this awareness into our next exploration: gratitude. For contentment and gratitude are intertwined, each enriching the other. Until then, embrace simplicity and see where it leads you. In our journey towards simplicity and contentment, we often overlook a powerful ally: gratitude. Gratitude is not merely an emotion, it is a way of seeing the world that transforms how we experience life. When we cultivate gratitude, we begin to recognize the abundance that already exists in our lives, even in moments of perceived scarcity. This shift in perspective allows us to appreciate what we have, rather than constantly chasing after what we lack. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of our experiences and relationships. When we practice gratitude, we open ourselves to this truth. we begin to see that everything we need is already present, whether it's a warm meal, the laughter of loved ones, or the quiet beauty of nature. This awareness fosters a sense of sufficiency, where we no longer feel driven by the restless pursuit of more. Consider the story of a Zen monk who lived in a modest hut on the side of a mountain. Every morning, he would gather firewood and boil water for tea. One day, a traveler passed by and asked, "Do you ever wish for more? A larger home, finer robes, or a richer life?" The monk replied, "I have everything I need, the mountains, the stars, and this cup of tea." His words were simple, yet they held the wisdom of a lifetime. He had learned to find joy in what he already possessed, and through gratitude, he discovered true contentment. Practicing gratitude is not about ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the good in our lives and allowing that goodness to inspire us. To begin this practice, take a moment each day to reflect on what you are grateful for. Start small. Perhaps it's the fresh air you breathe, the kindness of a friend, or the taste of your morning tea. Over time, this habit will grow, and you'll find yourself noticing more beauty and abundance in everyday moments. Reflect on this. What 3 things are you grateful for today? They could be as simple as a sunny day, a good book, or the sound of birds singing. By pausing to acknowledge these blessings, you create space in your heart for appreciation and joy. This practice helps you see that sufficiency is not about having less, but about valuing what you already have. As we move forward, remember that gratitude is a powerful tool for aligning our actions with our inner values. When we are grateful, we act with intention and compassion, creating harmony between our thoughts, words, and deeds. This alignment brings us closer to the peace and contentment we seek. In our journey toward a life of simplicity and natural living, we often reflect on the harmony between our inner beliefs and outer actions. To live authentically is to ensure that what we do aligns with who we truly are, a profound teaching in Buddhist wisdom. This alignment is not merely about adhering to rules, but about cultivating awareness of how our choices and habits reflect our core values. Buddhism teaches us that our actions shape our lives. Just as ripples create waves in still water. When we act in accordance with our deepest beliefs, we foster a sense of purpose and fulfillment. However, when our actions drift away from what truly matters to us, confusion and dissatisfaction arise. To avoid this dissonance, we must first identify and prioritize our core values, those principles that guide us toward meaning and peace. Take, for instance, the Zen master Hakuin, who once struggled with the tension between his spiritual aspirations and the demands of daily life. He realized that true alignment comes not from external achievements, but from living in harmony with his innermost intentions. By simplifying his commitments and focusing on what truly mattered, he he found clarity and contentment. To begin this journey, reflect on your own life. What actions or habits feel misaligned with your values? Are there patterns of behavior that drain your energy or leave you feeling unfulfilled? Consider moments when you felt a deep sense of peace. Those instances where your words and deeds naturally flowed from your core beliefs. These reflections can help you identify what truly matters and guide you toward more intentional living. As we move forward, remember that aligning our actions with inner values is an ongoing practice, not a destination. It requires patience, self-compassion, and the courage to let go of what no longer serves us. By doing so, we create space for simplicity and authenticity to flourish. Living simply requires intention, which we'll explore next. In the quiet stillness of a mountain valley, where the whispers of wind through pine trees carry the wisdom of ages, we find a timeless truth. Restlessness often arises when our actions drift away from what truly matters. Yet, within this very restlessness lies an opportunity, a chance to realign with our innermost values and find peace in the present moment. Meditation is not merely a practice. It is a profound act of self-discovery that helps us calm the turbulence of the mind. When we sit in meditation, we invite ourselves to pause, to breathe deeply, and to observe the ceaseless chatter of thoughts without judgment. In this stillness, we begin to recognize the patterns of restlessness that arise, whether they stem from unmet expectations, fear of the unknown, or attachment to outcomes. By gently acknowledging these distractions, we create space for clarity and inner peace. A simple yet powerful technique is to focus on the sensation of breath as it enters and leaves the body. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calmness, and with each exhale, release tension and worry. Another practice is to ground yourself by paying attention to the physical sensations of sitting, feeling the support of the earth beneath you, the texture of your clothing against your skin. These small acts of presence anchor us in the now, reminding us that restlessness often fades when we learn to be fully here. Consider the story of a Zen monk who sought solitude in a dense forest. As he sat under a tree one evening, a fierce storm broke out, thunder roared, rain poured, and leaves swirled around him. Yet, instead of fleeing, he remained still, observing each sound and movement with curiosity. In doing so, he realized that restlessness was not the storm itself, but his resistance to it. By embracing the chaos without attachment, he found a deeper sense of calm. Take a moment to reflect. What triggers your restlessness? Is it unfulfilled desires, fear of failure, or perhaps a lack of connection to your purpose? Whatever the source, meditation offers a way to meet these challenges with kindness and clarity. By cultivating awareness, we learn to respond rather than react, creating space for inner harmony even in turbulent times. As we continue this journey, Remember that a cluttered mind often reflects a cluttered space. In the quiet corners of our lives, where the hum of modernity often drowns out the stillness within, we find a profound truth. The state of our external world mirrors the state of our inner being. A cluttered room, filled with unnecessary objects, can be more than just an untidy space. It can be a reflection of a restless mind, unable to let go of what no longer serves it. Conversely, a space that is simple and uncluttered can become a sanctuary, inviting peace and clarity to take root. At the heart of Buddhist teachings lies the understanding that our physical environment deeply influences our mental state. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This wisdom extends beyond thoughts alone. It encompasses how we live in the world. When our surroundings are chaotic, it becomes difficult to cultivate a calm and focused mind. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, trimming away what is no longer needed to allow growth, so too must we tend to our spaces, creating an environment that supports mindfulness and simplicity. Consider the practice of tidying up, a simple yet powerful act that can transform both your home and your heart. Start with one room or even one corner and begin the process of letting go. Ask yourself, does this object bring me joy? Is it necessary for my life? As you sort through your belongings, you may notice a shift in your mindset, a subtle release of tension, as you free yourself from the weight of unnecessary things. This act of decluttering is not merely about organizing, it is about reconnecting with what truly matters. A Zen master once shared a story of a disciple who struggled with a cluttered home and an equally cluttered mind. The master suggested, begin by sorting your belongings, one item at a time. As you do so, observe the thoughts that arise. Notice how letting go of objects can also help you let go of attachment. Over time, as the disciple cleared his space, he found clarity in his thoughts and peace in his heart. This story reminds us that simplicity is not just an external state, it is a path to inner freedom. Now, take a moment to reflect. What area of your home feels chaotic? Is it a drawer overflowing with old papers? Or perhaps a closet stuffed with clothes you no longer wear? How can you simplify this space? Begin small. And as you do so, notice how the act of letting go affects your mind. Does it feel lighter? More at ease? As we create a calming environment that supports mindfulness, we lay the foundation for a more intentional way of living. A clutter-free space becomes a mirror, reflecting back to us the clarity and peace we seek within. In the next chapter, we will explore how this simplicity can extend into our daily lives, helping us live with purpose and presence. Remember, a clutter-free space supports mindful living, a journey that begins not just in the world around us, but deep within our hearts. In our journey toward inner peace, we often seek profound insights that can guide us through life's complexities. Yet, Sometimes the most transformative wisdom lies in the simplicity of Zen principles, which remind us that true clarity arises when we align our actions with intention and awareness. Consider the way a river flows, unhindered, yet purposeful. It carries within it the capacity to nourish life while remaining unattached to its path. This is the essence of living with intention in a world that often pulls us in many directions. Zen teaches us to embrace simplicity, not as a limitation, but as a means to uncover our true selves. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we create space for mindfulness and presence, allowing life's beauty to unfold naturally. One timeless Zen example is the art of tea preparation. In the tea ceremony, every movement is deliberate, yet effortless, reflecting a deep respect for the moment. The host does not force the process, but allows it to flow with grace. Just as we can allow our lives to unfold without unnecessary struggle, this practice reminds us that even in the busiest moments, we can find stillness and clarity by focusing on what truly matters. Reflecting on this, ask yourself, what Zen principle resonates most deeply within you? Is it the idea of non-attachment, the value of simplicity, or perhaps the power of mindfulness? Whatever speaks to your heart, let it guide you in creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Remember, living with intention is not about perfection, but about cultivation, a gentle, ongoing effort to align our thoughts, actions, and surroundings with what brings us peace. As we move forward, we'll explore how Zen wisdom can help us navigate the delicate balance between simplicity and abundance. For now, let this moment be a reminder that clarity begins when we release what no longer serves us and embrace the present with open hearts and minds. As we conclude this journey through Buddhist wisdom on simplicity and natural living, let us take a moment to reflect on the insights that have illuminated our path. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that true peace is not found in accumulation, but in letting go of clutter, of distractions, and of the restless pursuit of more. Simplicity, far from being an absence, becomes a profound presence, allowing us to connect deeply with what truly matters. Throughout this journey, we have explored how embracing simplicity can transform our lives. We have learned that decluttering our external environments mirrors the inner work of letting go of attachments, judgments, and the noise of a distracted mind. By aligning our actions with intention, we create space for mindfulness and purpose. These teachings are not abstract concepts, but practical tools for navigating a world that often pulls us in conflicting directions. A Zen master once said, "Chase two rabbits and you will catch neither." This wisdom reminds us of the importance of focus and clarity in embracing a simpler life. By simplifying our goals, relationships, and daily routines, we create room for stillness, a space where the mind can settle and true wisdom can arise. Consistent practice is key here. Simplicity is not a destination but a path, requiring patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to return to what truly nourishes us. As you reflect on this journey, consider one takeaway that resonates deeply with you. Perhaps it is the power of mindfulness in everyday moments, or the freedom found in letting go of unnecessary burdens. Whatever it may be, how will you apply this insight in your daily life? Will you begin by simplifying your morning routine, decluttering a space that feels overwhelming, or pausing to breathe before reacting in challenging situations? Remember, simplicity is not about restriction, but about refining our lives to what brings us joy and fulfillment. It is about living with intention and aligning our actions with the values that matter most. As you move forward, carry this wisdom with you, knowing that each small step toward simplicity is a step toward peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May your path be simple and peaceful.